Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Trade the Chain. It is January 14th, and looks like we're bringing a good day with Bitcoin here, hovering around 40. We're going to go through some charts real quick just to give you your quick fix. We got Ethereum after this, DOT, and then VGX, all going to the higher side, which is always good news. As usual, we got Monty and CJ, our crypto analysts from marketrebellion.com. And my co-host Ryan Gorman with the best hair in crypto. And off to Ryan for the legalese.
Just a reminder that all content and information provided by Trade the Chain is for informational purposes only. This is not investment advice and should not be construed as such. Trade the Chain is brought to you by Trade the Chain. It combines the power of AI-driven sentiment indicators and actionable real-time alerts with an expansive knowledge base and a global community of traders to provide to help people make more informed trading decisions. TradeTheChain.com for a 14-day trial.
Beautiful sentiment dashboard, best in the industry, bar none. And then we have Market Rebellion Crypto, which is somewhat similar to Trade the Chain in the sense that it's a community of beginner to advanced traders all throughout the world. And what you get in this service is trade ideas from Monty and myself, as well as access to our macro crypto portfolio. We change the allocations in that every couple of weeks and keep you guys updated. We also have a curriculum that is going to teach people about technical analysis in trading. And we're going to be trying to add new courses to that about once a month. But one example of our trade insights that we had last night was VGX. I decided to publish this one right around 79 cents. That was a trigger to entry with a current price of only 70 cents. Now, this morning, VGX is trading at $1. Now it's up all the way to 115. So if these are the type of juicy trade ideas that you would like to receive from Monty and I on a weekly basis, go to marketrebellion.com/crypto and you can sign up now for just $1.
Don't worry.
That point.
Don't worry. Don't worry, folks. We're not bypassing VGX by hitting it first instead of last on our show. We're going to get to the charts later, but no, those are good insights from CJ and Monty. Trust me, you want them. You want to listen to them more than you want to listen to me and Ryan any day of the week.
Absolutely.
So yeah, let's hit the charts then.
All right, so we'll go over to Bitcoin. BTC is it's trading up. It seems that we're just about getting to the last part of a full recovery stage here from our consolidation retracement period. What are we looking at? Is there still room to the downside, or is this pretty much going up to the 52,000 mark that everybody's dreaming of for the end of the month?
Yeah, that's an important question. This is a kind of a no trade zone. I'm waiting this out because, so if you look at the 4-hour chart, we got the green 9, which is indicative of a reversal. It's also right up against the 40K mark. So I think there's going to be a lot of profit taking around this level, just like we saw last time we reached this level. And I just wouldn't feel comfortable entering a long trade until we break above the previous high and maybe get a little bit of consolidation. So if you sold at 30K, don't feel too bad about it because you may have a chance to buy back in at that same price or even a better price if we do get a reversal on this 9 and we get rejected at 40K.
Yeah, I think the key metric to watch out here is the 9 on the 4-hour. So we've had a lot of these 9s that have kind of been a catalyst for bullish price action, which are then followed by a correction period. So, we definitely could go up to 40K. And if we do break above previous highs, we could possibly go to, up even to 45K before the pullback. And the reason why I say that is because I'm looking more at the weekly perspective, more of a long-term perspective. And, we were talking when price was down at about 30K, that red candle on the weekly chart looked like the beginning of a pullback for about 3 to 4 weeks. But now price has actually rallied throughout the past couple of days and might actually close above the previous weekly candle which really wouldn't be a bearish indication to sell or anything. And, if we remain above this top Bollinger Band, price could go all the way up to 45K or some of these higher Fibonacci levels. I don't think we will. I think it's more likely and would be more characteristic to see a pullback, in the next 3 to 4 weeks. But it's just, it's very difficult to know how far we could go up in the interim. So it's a
Agreed,
difficult
Caesar.
spot.
And if I could just add one more thing that kind of supports the bullish thesis here, you just move back to the daily chart. One thing that we talked about on yesterday's episode was kind of the historical record that the whale wallets were reaching, and how there are more wallets with more than 1,000 Bitcoin in it than ever. And if you look at this daily chart, right, we got that first run up, which seemed like it was actually largely fueled by some retail people getting into the space and kind of FOMOing in right there. And then as price dipped, they got shaken out. And like we talked about yesterday, the whales were happy to buy this dip. So we've kind of bounced back from this dip. And I feel like this may be a bit more of a sustained uptrend than what we've seen in the past, because these are institutional players and whales who have a bit steadier hand than the retail players that drove us up to 41K the first time.
Is today Bizarro Day? Monty is on bullish and CJ is bearish. I'm confused.
I'm not necessarily bullish. I was just making the bullish case, but I do think a reversal is going to be imminent before we break 41K.
What's our reversal look like from here?
That's a good question. I think so. I mean, we saw the green 9 on the 4 hour. I think we could possibly retest about 35K, or even if minimally, possibly 37K. We talked a lot about the support and resistance setup trend lines at around 37.7K. So we could get some support there, but if not, I think we could actually go all the way down to 35K. And that would just be kind of over the weekend, because like we've talked about, the weekend with the thin order books, we can get a pretty good amount of volatility on the weekends.
If you look at options positioning, the January 29th expiry has a lot of crowding around 52,000, 56,000, and a few higher levels with some outliers at 64 and 72,000. Are you disagreeing with those traders, I guess, from a fundamental basis, or do you think there'll be a dip and then we'll resume the bull run?
Well, I think we're all pretty macro bullish here and would probably agree with the projection of 100K by the end of the year. These are the levels that you mentioned, Ryan, that I've highlighted up here. And, from a weekly perspective, it's not that, we could definitely go to those levels. Like Bitcoin kind of has like a mind of its own right now, in the sense that, this candle has rallied. While I do still expect some type of pullback, like we can't just go up like that forever. We can't just go up straight on the weekly chart to 100K. There has to be some type of regression to the Bollinger Band at some point. Now, the difficult question is, how high are we going to go in the interim? If we break the previous high of 40K, are we going to go to 45K? Are we going to go to 50K? Those numbers that you mentioned, Alex, or sorry, Ryan. We could go there, but I think inevitably we have to see something like this or this. But it's kind of a tough bet on how high we can go in the interim.
Well, I don't think we're going to go to 15.5, Ryan, and sorry about that.
I'm losing sleep over it.
All right, let's move on to Ethereum real quick. Now, Ethereum, not a lot to comment on here. It literally is almost an identical chart, on the 1 hour, looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum side by side. So what differences are there happening here, if any?
Yeah, not too many differences, really. I think the one difference would be something that we spoke about yesterday, and that's kind of that psychological level of $1,000. And I feel like we really bounced off that quite nicely. And we were talking about setting some buy orders around the level that CJ has marked at 985. And I think this is a really encouraging sign for ETH that it has this kind of support net in $1,000. And it's kind of a similar situation with Bitcoin, where it seems like these are kind of the whales and the institutions that are happy to buy ETH at any price less than $1,000. So it's good to know that people are buying the dip, and it seems like we got a pretty solid price floor here of about $1,000 in the interim.
There's been some pretty positive price action in one of the tokens, one of the coins that we're going to chat about next, Polkadot, but also in Sushi. And when you see positive movement in DeFi tokens, Sushi included, that often correlates to a positive price action in Ethereum as well. How much of an effect do you think that that's having on the price of ETH?
I think DeFi definitely plays a role to ETH that makes the broader ecosystem as a whole very, very bullish, especially when we have projects that are likely going to be affected by Ethereum 2.0, which tomorrow, January 15th, we do have some fundamental news coming out regarding Ethereum 2.0 and a few other projects like Polkadot that are, we touched on it on Rob's channel yesterday, but the implementation, do you guys, are you familiar?
I'm actually, CJ, I'm glad you brought that up because I almost just glazed over it. But from what's happening tomorrow on the 15th with ETH 2.0, is there an expectation of a run? Are we going to shoot up? I mean, there's chatter about it, but is this a reality or is it just talk?
I think for now it's just talk. I think, I mean, with the announcement of it, we saw a massive run up. So it's kind of one of those instances where I think people were buying the news. And unless the gas fees we start to see them dip significantly after the implementation of ETH 2.0, I kind of think it's just gonna not have too much of an effect in the immediate sense. But if those gas fees do go down, I mean, that's going to be huge for Ethereum and just make it so much more, the utility of it so much more viable. And I think a lot of people, so many more people will start trading it. So if ETH 2.0 is a success, then yeah, this could be huge for the price of ETH.
Yeah. Speaking of the OCC and fair access, Brian Brooks just 2 days ago was talking about how DeFi revolution is coming, and he was referring to DeFi projects as self-driving banks. I mean, that has to have some kind of impact on ETH's price as well.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of speculating on the possible utility down the road of ETH, it arguably has, and not even just ETH itself, but some of the projects being built on the Ethereum blockchain, it has probably the most potential utility of any other project. There is so many potential applications, and I think if they continue to improve it with rolling out new protocols like ETH 2.0, then yeah, I think it could be adopted by major financial systems, and that would be tremendous for the price, obviously.
And aside from many of the other projects like CryptoKitties and other less significant projects on Ethereum, Uniswap, the largest and most prominent decentralized exchange, you know, if Ethereum can get those gas fees to somehow be reduced to a pragmatic and usable level, then Uniswap will drastically benefit. Because right now, I mean, Alex, you were saying in the last show how your experience was incredibly difficult. You know, you really can't trade. You know, you can buy and hold for the long term and maybe be profitable, but if you're paying exorbitant fees, it's just not practical.
It's the place to go. It feels like to spend $150 in gas fees to buy $150 in coin. I mean, we tried microbursting Uniswap the other day for a large purchase, and it failed 98% of the time. It was amazing.
It's not good. You know, one thing, Alex, that I want to bring up, since we were going to talk about Polkadot anyway. SushiSwap just... Are
you taking us to Polkadot now, or are we waiting?
No, we're going to Polkadot. SushiSwap just integrated Polkadot. They announced an integration with it. And, you know, off the back of that integration, you have Sushi up 43% over the past 7 days, DOT up 30%. and it's vastly outperforming Uniswap. And there's a lot of thought that the vast majority of transactions will move from Uniswap to SushiSwap for that reason you were just discussing, the high gas fees, and that this is kind of a solution to that problem.
Polkadot is so scalable. I mean, they got, you're able to create parachains off it and stuff like that. Really customize what Polkadot's been building for this time. So I think that, to your point, Ryan, I think there's a lot to be said, a lot of opportunities out there.
That information, by the way, all came from Dennis at bQuant in his latest research note. Thanks, Dennis, but making me sound smart. But I mean, guys, that candle looks a little doji. What do you think?
Yeah, this is the classic, warning sell TD9. The market has such bullish momentum that, I mean, we certainly could go up in the interim, but this is a signal to take profit based on, a short-term trading opportunity. We then create a setup support level at $12.36. So we'll have to see if that holds for the interim. This is only a 4-hour chart. If I zoom out on the daily, you can see we've got a little bit more support down here at like the $10 price level. So basic technicals on DOT, still looking bullish.
Let's move to our last chart of the day, and it is VGX, Voyager, crypto broker Voyager. And listen, we were talking about this at the beginning of the show. Sometimes we have repetitive coins that we're covering on the show, and it's really not because for any other reason than some of these coins just keep outperforming and it's working. So VGX up over $1, shooting up to 108 right now with a high of 113. It's doing everything right, guys.
Oh yeah, 114. Yeah, that's quite a high.
It's up 277% this week.
Yeah, not too shabby.
That's staggering.
So
happy I sold all my VGX on Sunday.
This isn't even a hyper wave. It's just a straight line up.
Dude, it's turbocharged.
Almost like an IPO. It's almost like the market has realized Voyager's potential as a brokerage and how they can integrate this token for value. Being said, in the short term, this price action leads me to believe the cryptocurrency is definitely overextended in the short term. Will probably come down to some of these support levels and give another opportunity to accumulate. But being said, in the short term, I have no idea how high this thing can go. I'm just going to hold it. You guys saw that profitable trade insight that I published earlier last night. We're going to keep watching those, but those are the types of opportunities in our community that we provide. Obviously, Voyager and the team are doing some awesome stuff. I know they just released access to their beta platform for the second group of users this morning, and everything's going great. So, everything's good from a fundamental perspective on VGX. Still think we're going to get a large take profits event where we do come down a little bit, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. Like, I think we're going to $5-6 conservatively by the end of this market cycle. So we'll see what happens.
The real problem, but people should be also aware of the fact that of the order book. And although we have a price driven up to as high as 114 now, we were trying to put in trades at a lower price a couple days ago. And it actually we were hitting rejections just because of it was a little thinly traded, and there would be certain impact implications. So I can't wait for this to be a really robust trading liquid coin.
It's an interesting thing, and we were talking about this before the show, but there are individuals who have been putting quite a bit of money into VGX. Relative to like the average retail trader in crypto. I think the average like Robinhood account only has, less than $2,000, but we've been getting an enormous amount of questions about why the limit on Voyager trades is $5,000. Whereas Bitcoin, it's like $25,000 on Voyager. So there are some individuals coming in with some serious money relative to just the typical average retail crypto trader. So that's promising to see. That may illustrate that we got some actual strong long-term holders in the market.
Yeah, agreed. Well, guys, a great wrap up to the Thursday here. Good market cycle as far as Bitcoin's concerned, VGX, Polkadot, and Ethereum. We will join you guys tomorrow for our long form video where Ryan's going to bring us some really interesting news that you may not know about. But till then, happy trading, guys, and hang on to those handlebars.
Thanks, everyone.